Hey y'all, it is the end of January 2020 and guess what I'm doing today? I'm going to be fertilizing all of my outdoor plants. Anything that's potted in the ground, I'm going to be fertilizing today with one quick sweep. The reason why I'm doing it kind of earlier in the season for my 7B area on my 1/10 of an acre lot in an urban downtown Durham, I'm doing it today because we have just come out of a freeze. We had snow earlier this week and the week prior. We're going to have some sort of snow or sleet at the tail end of this week. So this freezing and thaw process is going to be great for me to add this fertilizer now. The fertilizer that I'm using is Expoma's Organic Plant Tone, all-purpose plant food. Something about this that's super great is that I can use this for any of my outdoor plants, my flowers, my bulbs. I can even use it for the vegetables that I will be planting a little bit later on in the channel. But something also that's excellent about this brand is that it's completely organic. That means that we're not having any of those fillers, any of those concentrates or synthetics that will be going back into the yard. Something also too that I've learned about Expoma is that if you're not satisfied with the results within 6 months, you can actually return this back to the company and get a free refund. Just make sure you always have that receipt handy. Now I picked up this plant tone from my local hardware store, but you can really get it from any box store or small garden center. This is a 533. And how I'm going to be administering this today, I'm not going to be looking at the exact amount per each plant. I'm just going to be scattering it throughout the yard. Again, it's going to be a thaw, freezing that will be happening with the temperature, and this plant's food is going to be perfect to sit on top and only will be activated when it's needed come closer to spring. Now, what I'm going to be using to actually put this all down is simply spreading it with my hand. So I'm going to need a pair of handy gloves because again, we don't want to get this fertilizer anywhere close to our skin, touching it this much. Another thing that I'm going to actually be using today too, safety first. I'm going to be using clear shades to protect my eyes, but also I am going to be putting on a mask. This is very dusty, like a lot of fertilizers. So I don't want to be inhaling that in. Might as well throw on a mask while I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be making seriously quick work for this project. I predict for my whole yard, it might take me no more than 20 minutes. Let's join along and see how this process goes. Also, make sure to bring in your pet as well as any children. We don't want them breathing in that stuff either. I'm going to start this process by simply grabbing a handful and just scattering. If I hit any of the plant leaves, simply what I'm going to do is later on brush it off with my hand or even maybe use a broom or a rake to do that process. Whatever you can find handy. I'm really making sure that I hit underneath the plant, not just hitting the top of the leaves. Really make sure it scatters. I have a lot of bulbs that come out on this side, so I'm really going to focus a little bit more on the empty ground. By the way, this is my first time actually putting fertilizer on any of the plants I have in the yard. I started my renovation in 2018 where all of this was weeds mixed with concrete mixed with trash, and really started by building up the soil. I had no idea what I was supposed to be doing, so Lindsay, I did not fertilize. My first time fertilizing is this occasion, and that's why I'm so excited to be doing it with you all here today. So right here in this drift, going from the top of my kind of pillar, snaking around my water cord and kind of ending right there, is a drift of daffodils. I cannot wait for this first plane to come out. I planted probably about 70 of them in just this small tight quarters a few months ago. And I am so excited for those to come up for the first year and see how they do. It's a gorgeous pastels, whites, yellows, and it's really going to add a nice pop to the front yard's landscape. But I want to show you and get down in this dirt. The dirt that I've been doing here, it consisted of trash, it consisted of concrete, and a whole variety of just mesh. So since 2018, I've been naturally amending the soil, never using any fertilizers, but naturally amending it by bagged mulch and then eventually some hardwood mulch, triple shred. Look at this, how I'm just kind of going down and I'm not hitting any clay. This used to be all hard clay. This is just after a few years of naturally amending the soil and covering. So when I put down the plant food fertilizer, I'm putting this right on top of the pre-existing layer of leaves. I'm not pulling anything back. I don't believe that is necessary. So that is it, y'all. We have finished fertilizing my whole landscape here in downtown Durham. Just adding a little bit of plant food just by slinging it through the yard is going to do a whole lot of difference in the spring. I cannot wait to see how the plants react to this. Again, this is my first time doing this for my yard that I had started in 2018. Well, if you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe this video. I am building out this channel completely from the ground up with my backyard renovations and projects. So I'd appreciate if you all would do that, and see you around next time.